to the new YouTube podcast called The Decoder. This is Prashant Mokshya. Today on the first episode of The Decoder, we will talk about one of the most controversial person of our current time and one of the most talked person of our current time, the Republican presidential nominee of United States and multi-billionaire Mr. Donald Trump. Today let's decode Mr. Donald Trump. Before decoding the Donald Trump, we must know something about civilization, development, and economic growth, and prosperity, and power. How our civilization is growing. United States is one of the most civilized, one of the most developed, one of the most powerful, one of the most economically strong, and one of the most empowering country in the whole earth. In that country, a person named Donald Trump arrived, who is a multi-billionaire by his status, who has done huge business in United States and across the world, with famous Trump Tower is everybody's mind, is in everybody's mind. Then how the most civilized country, the most developed country, and most empowering country starts to acknowledge all the megalomaniac, all the xenophobic, all the controversial, all the idiotic statement of Donald Trump, and they vote him as the presumptive nominee of the Republican Party for the presidential candidate. How it is possible? If we think by the simple logic, it cannot be, because the theory is the more we are civilized, the more we are developed, the more we are economically strong, the more our moral value grow. That is the basic theory. But Trump is acting, and the incident happening in the United States is anti-theory of that. Why? Because the moral ground Trump holds, the moral standard Trump holds, the moral vision Trump holds, and the moral strength Trump holds, we all know. He's talking about the Mexican building the wall in Mexico between United States and Mexico, talking about Muslim and banning them from entering the United States, talking about the North Korean dictator, talking about Saddam Hussein, talking about Muammar Gaddafi, talking about Putin. We can find that he's really in favor of such a personality who happens to be a xenophobic, who happens to be a murderer, who happens to be a dictator, who happens to be a person in the moral society who are example of the evil one. He's telling them the great leader, and not only that, he called every Muslim as a terrorist, and he proposed to ban them. How is it possible for a moral person to just whitewash all the people from some religion and call them a terrorist? But you forget the Prince Al-Walid, who had helped Donald Trump to get out from his financial crisis. In his one ode, on the one ode of Mr. Al-Walid, he said, "I have saved many drowning ship of Mr. Donald Trump." But he said, "You cannot enter in our country." And the interesting part is, the history of United States is, other than the native Indians who were the native people of the United States, other than them, all of the other Americans came from another country. They came from another country. Maybe they were the second generation, maybe third generation, maybe fourth generation, or someone maybe first generation of their belonging to American society. That means Donald Trump is also not the Native American. He talk about the nativeness. He talk about the America great again by just throwing out all other people and just making America the people of American. But how is possible? How logical person can think so? Because the development, the history, and the growth and the empowerment of America is not because the Native American, because the outsider who came from other country and delivered there, like someone like today's President Barack Obama, or call it today's one of the highly respected entrepreneur, businessman, multi-billionaire Elon Musk. And I can give you many examples. They are not the original people from the United States. Elon Musk was from South Africa, Barack Obama from Kenya, and lots of people. If we go throughout their generation, we can find at least one generation was descending from somewhere else. That's why his first point, throwing not all other people and just putting the Native American, that is truly false. And he said about illegal immigration. What he said about illegal? He said there is estimated about 11 million illegal immigration in the United States, and he said to deport all of them. And by the research done by the top professional on related area, they said trillions of dollars will be lost if they even try to do that. Not only that, not only money will be lost, but the momentum of the growth after the financial crisis of 2008-9 will be demolished, will be taken back, and the economy will be directed towards the different direction. And about Muslim, he said, if a guy is terrorist, if a son is terrorist, then you have to terrorize officially their parents, their brothers, their sisters. You have to take strong action against them. But the thing about terrorists is, due to the development of the internet, many parents may even don't know what their son or daughter are pursuing, what their son or daughter interest is. Are they interested on terrorists or something like this, or today's jihadist group like ISIS, Boko Haram, Al Qaeda, Taliban, and many more. Because their son and daughter can talk with them, can contact with them, even meet them without being noticed to their family. If so, by which logic you can persecute their parents? And that logic also falls very badly. And his third logic, to make the America great again. Question is, that means, is America not great today? And what did he want to change to make the America great again? What is his extensive proposal? When I go through them, I found that he did not propose anything. He just say putting the walls on Mexico. But for his own business, he used the low cost Mexican worker to produce his own material for selling. How is it possible? If he think Mexicans are disturbing American economy, they are druggists, they are rapists, so and so, and why he is using the Mexican for his one company? That is the question, and he never answered. He did not have answer. That is what Donald Trump is. Let's talk about American people. How Donald Trump emerged as Donald Trump today. The historic moment of arising of Donald Trump is the Fox News debate, which is hosted by one of the anchor called Megyn Kelly. When Megyn Kelly asks some reasonable question to him, he starts going against her. And he talk about some of the most insane thing about her menstrual cycle and lots of women thing. And then in that controversy is the landmark thing, which gave him such an immense popularity among the people who prescribe such thinking in the most civilized country. He then started to grow up talking about Muslim, talking about Mexico, talking about Mexican, talking about the immigration, illegal immigration, talking about China, talking about North Korea, talking about Iraq, talking about Putin, and many more. But my question to the American people is how they can ascribe such insane logic for the person they presume to be their president. How can a civilized society can accept such a person to be the president? That question really struck me. And since I am related with the new spiritual movement, I tried to give a new spiritual perspective. And I found my research shows that the development of United States or other developed country is not the spiritual development. That is just a materialistic development or the outer development, which eventually, however they may be developed, however they may be educated, however they may be rich, but eventually what happens is the American people who are not spiritually developed, spiritually empowered, they eventually, when they are striking hard from the situation, they will eventually come back as on their real form. And the support of Donald Trump shows that the extremist viewpoint on the most literate country is supported by more than 13 millions. How could a country of such a huge aura can support? It is only possible because the people of America, they are not highly empowered. There is a Christianity called religion, but the point is they just go to church, they just go to prayer, something like that, but that really don't empower you. You need to be empowered from your own being, from your own spirit, from your own soul, from your one body, and from your one mind. And the most of the religion, like Christianity, is unable to lift you up. That's why, that is the main reason why the extremist viewpoint is still predominant in the American society, in the highly developed society, highly civilized, so-called civilized society. That is the first reason. And the second reason is due to the current political stigma. The politics done by the mainline politicians like Barack Obama, like Hillary Clinton, and many more. That is not really centered to the people itself. They are really centered to themselves. In other words, they are really centered to their own post, which is why people feel frustrated, people feel ignored. So they develop a anti-status quo perspective on their mind, because they were hit hard by the economic crisis, by losing their job, by not being able to pay their sons and daughters tuition fee on the college, by not being able to afford the health care, and many more. And the concentration of the mainstream politician is not on the ground level of such people, but on the different issue like foreign issue, and different issue like the political gain of their party, and many more, which eventually created an anti-mainstream vision. And the Donald Trump come at the time when country was slowly growing and the country is slowly taking the pace, even if not as expected. At that time, Donald Trump arises, and Donald Trump strike the gold, and he capture all the momentum, all the feelings of hatred. He just manifested them in his speech, and he emerged as the winner. But whoever may be the winner, maybe Donald Trump win the race, which I predicted will not. Eventually, Hillary Clinton will be the first woman president of United States. But if Donald Trump wins, who lose is the people of United States, the civilization of United States, the development of United States, and the prosperity of United States. They will lose. They will lose the momentum and the greatness country had achieved right there now. that will be demolished. Not the country will be great again, but the country will be on the back foot, on the back track of going backward from developed, more civilized, much empowered country to the unnoticed one. Because in 4 years of presidency of so-called Donald Trump, country will be ravished, America will be ravished. So question to American people is, what do you want? You want someone manifested your anger, manifested your hatred, and deliver his own conspiracy, his own dream, but eventually that will lead for the destruction of American economy, American civilization, or are the mainstream politicians who may not talk about your direct pain, but they cannot take such decision which can take their country to the back foot. Who do you want? Yes, on the sentimental way, on the way of sentiment, we can say on the temporary basis, we can think, no, we need Donald Trump who can speak about our thinking. But ultimately, if you choose Donald Trump as your president, then note it down, America will crash as bad as no one imagined. That is my prediction. Lastly, I want to say Donald Trump is not a single character. He doesn't emerge to be the presumptive nominee by himself. He emerged by the American people. And the American people who are in large, who are in millions and multi-million, about 13-14 million people, they prescribe him as a presumptive nominee. That means they love him to be their president. The question is, now again there is another possibility that Donald Trump may be defeated, but the character of Donald Trump in American society is not easy to defeat. That's why American people need to rise again. American people need to think again. American people need to use their insight, use their knowledge, use their civilized way of thinking, not the temporary incitement, not the temporary temptation. And I feel amazed how the most civilized people can be tempted in such a way, in such a devastating way. They can forget their mind and heart, and they can only go towards their anger, their hatred, and lust of things. I feel amazed, but feeling amazed, sitting here in Nepal, the country of Buddha, it will change nothing. You need to feel amazed of yourself. You need to think about your own decision, why you vote Mr. Donald Trump, such a xenophobic personality, such a person without no vision, who even collapsed his Trump University and many more his project, who even betray his employee, who even betray his customer, who even give false hope to his customer and grab their money and become the billionaire. How can you choose such a person to have a hand on the button, to be in the driver's seat of their economic momentum. How can you? You have to think. You have to decide. Fate is in your hand. I do not say do not vote Donald Trump. I never prescribe anyone any decision. I said I present you the logic. Now choice is yours. Mind is yours. Knowledge is yours. Choose the best one. Don't choose the wrong and thinking later, being sorry doing so. If you do not think right now, the day will come you will regret that. That's all for today. We'll meet next time with next subject about next controversial thing. Till then, goodbye.